This is a video on how to fix a dog collar, nylon dog collar that has kind of the plastic clamps on it. Basically, if something like this dog chews it and you've got some slack, there's an easy way to fix it using polyurethane glue. You can see down here at this end, this is actually a buckle loop down here that I fixed with the same method. I looped it through and actually used polyurethane glue with some clamps just to clamp it back down to itself. In this case, the dogs chewed it in two, and I had some slack, so I went ahead and cut, the slack I had out to make two blunt pieces. I'm going to zoom in on that. So basically right here we have two blunt pieces, and cut the ends, and you just fray the ends a little bit. You can use like a screw or whatever. Just go in and just fray them, open them up just a little bit. And in a situation like this, it would be tempting, and it doesn't harm if you wanted to cut this pattern, these ends in a V, or notch it. But you see, if you have to accommodate for a certain amount of length, it's kind of hard to do that. If you're more talented than I am, then maybe it's not. And it actually does give you more strength if you actually cut a pattern in that, like a little notch. Or if you had some pinking shears that were big enough and strong enough that you could actually make a pattern in that would work too. However, what happens with the polyurethane glue is because we're going to clamp this, push it down, it's going to expand into both of these edges. And it's not going to expand too far as to the point where it restricts the flexibility of this band. But it does provide, a good bonding solution for this nylon strap, because you've got a lot of surface area and all these fibers right here. We'll cut that fiber off. Bye. So that's one of the procedures. You have to cut off the loose fibers. And then now I've got these two ends. I've frayed them just a little bit, but not too much. And what I've done here, as you can see, there's obviously a combination of clamps right here. And I've got one in the back holding this big vertical up that can come down and clamp onto this. And I've got the shoes on these two with Teflon tape so that the glue doesn't stick to the shoes on the clamps. I've got another clamp. These are quick clamps in the back, basically to hold this clamp up, while down here on the side I've got another clamp that comes in and holds this. And what I've done is, when I clamp this together, it was a little bit of a trick but not much, is to go ahead and make sure, and I'll zoom in on this, that you do have enough slack that here, let me focus it, right here you do have enough slack that when you actually compress this, it does compress and it pushes those fibers together. And then what happens is under pressure, the polyurethane glue, which is like a Gorilla Glue, will expand into a small zone on either side that basically is almost impossible to pull apart. It's almost as strong as the material itself, the fabric itself. You'd be actually surprised about this. If you wanted to cut a pattern in this and to provide more surface area for more bonding, that's fine too. I know a lot of people just do that in general because that's a good practice in a lot of other processes. So here what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the Gorilla Glue. And like I said, this is just generic polyurethane glue. And go in here and put some Gorilla Glue. Not a lot. That's like almost too much. There we go. Oh, just a little. It expands. It's going to expand. There's going to be plenty. Do put it on both surfaces. You could do it on one, and that's not a good idea. You need to actually get a good mechanical bond into the fiber itself of both sides. And it's not like contact glue where you have to have that anyway and then let it dry and stick it together. No, in this case, basically you want to get that glue into the fibers and give it a good point to wick in. So just use a screw or something. Get it wicked in a little bit. Little dab will do you here, because you don't need a lot of polyurethane glue to get this to work. So now you got these two blunt ends frayed out. You got your polyurethane glue. Next thing you do is you kind of push it together like this. Okay, see there? Not bad. I'll go ahead and use my screws, get my fat fingers out of the way. Jack, come in here, and you can see, go ahead and push down. And now you just come up with the clamp. And when you're bringing it down, get it in there so you can see it. Bring the clamp down. Take the screw out. There we go, clamp down. And clamp it. Do the handle on the clamp. Nice and tight. Let that sit for however long. Usually like 10 hours, 12 hours to make sure it's good and fit. And then take it out. You got the Teflon tape to stick the glue. And wham, bam, you're done. So anyway, that's pretty much, and I said you can use this for loop ends too. If you got a buckle and it's got chewed off or you need to extend or something like that, just go ahead and you can use that same, you loop basically the material of the buckle back through. And like in this end right here, you can, in this case, like I did a loop back on a piece of fabric through the buckle, and then but use polyurethane glue here and just glued this thing. So that's actually an excellent way to do an end on a buckle too. So hope this helps out.